with the NBA in China, in which, you know, there's a lot of controversy going on with China. And on the last episode of the Leel show, I wasn't too familiar on the situation, so I didn't want to rant my mouth and not know nothing about the situation, sort of what LeBron James did in this situation. The NBA has some problems with China, and it's because of Rockets general manager. And I'm refreshing it up for y'all that don't know about it. I'm not going to go too deep into the start of the situation simply because we got a time constraint on this episode. But Daryl Morey tweeted out, "Stand with Hong Kong," or whatever, amid protests going on, Muslims being held in prison camps and tortured, and a lot of stuff going on in China. So the Rockets general manager spoke out. It caused friction with China and the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's a lot of money to lose. The NBA and China. China is the NBA's biggest cash cow partner. So, you know, we move past that part. Then, you know, we got a few people to speak out about it. Not a lot. The general people that we normally feel will speak out about it. Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr said absolutely nothing. Which in this case is something that I believe LeBron James should have done. He should have said absolutely nothing, especially because he had nothing good to say. Me personally, I can't side with LeBron James on this one. I cannot side with LeBron James. Simply because you telling people that Daryl Morey is uneducated for his tweet, but you gave an uneducated answer. I don't think LeBron James noticed severely what was going on. And instead of you saying, listen, my name is Bennett and I'm not in it, maybe people will look at you wrong anyway for saying that, but still, at least, you know, you won't have as much backlash, because you could have said, listen, this situation makes me feel uncomfortable. I am not going to talk about this situation at all. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I do agree with LeBron James is when he said the timing of that tweet, because NBA players were currently in China. So you make a tweet like that with players in China, they may fear for their safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm in China, brother. Can I at least get home first? That part, I do understand. But the other part, I'm not. LeBron James is selling out to China.
You think so, though?
He's selling out to China.
I feel like that's what people are trying to say, but
it's
I
clear
feel like
as
there's
day.
A little misconception. I feel like that's
and why
what's
you think
going on
that?
Here. Because I don't know. Did you watch the whole interview, first and foremost? The 8-minute on ESPN?
I watched most of the interview. And from what he said was enough for me to be like, this brother's selling out to China.
Well, see, the quote that keeps being taken was the next to last question at the end of it. If you saw that all the questions leading up to it, he clearly stated several times that he and his teammates are too uneducated, really, to speak on the situation. He didn't want to keep speaking on the situation because he knew he wasn't, he didn't have much information on it. And when asked if Daryl should have been punished more, he said that's another situation that should be held behind closed doors. That's how he responded. He didn't say anything to the public about wanting to get him, fired, or that he should have more, precaution.
But to say everybody's issue is not everybody's problem. You know what I'm saying? It's basically you saying that you don't care about the people in turmoil over there in China. There's dudes that are losing their life that could be LeBron. There's a lot of LeBron James fans. You saw them burning the jerseys. Those people support you, and you can't even support their freedom.
I can definitely see 100% why people in China would be upset with LeBron, but I don't know. I think that
for people in America, it really don't affect us, but for people who care, you know what I'm saying, about
concerning.
It's concerning. You know what I'm saying?
Concerning.
And it's important to mention that LeBron James has huge money ties with China. And speaking out will cost him a lot of money. All right, James also have a Space Jam 2 movie coming out that could be an international success. So by that's a very important thing right there. So the money talks. One thing about LeBron James, I'm not knocking LeBron James' history of helping people. He helped get the Fair Play Act passed, which allows college athletes to be paid off their likeness and image and stuff like that, signing autographs, this and that. I know LeBron James did all that. I know LeBron James sent kids to school. I know LeBron James spoke out against Donald Trump. But it's one thing to help people out when you have the money to do so, because LeBron James has the money to do so. LeBron James has the economic freedom where he can say, all right, I can invest money and help people. But it's another thing to lose business deals by speaking out. Muhammad Ali. LeBron James, in this case, can never be Muhammad Ali. Why? Because Muhammad Ali went to jail for 5 years for what he believed in. Colin Kaepernick lost his job for what he believed in. LeBron James is still going to be able to dribble, right? He's still going to be able to dribble. And he's still going to be able to keep those money ties. Why? Because he sold out to China, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see how people would say that. I can see why people are upset. He definitely should have thought a little bit more about.
He had 9 days.
He
had 9 days, a 9-day head start, all right, to literally get all this information digested before the brother opened his mouth.
Yeah, man. I don't know. See, what I took away from the interview is he's clearly looking at it from a business perspective, which isn't really appropriate for the state of politics that we're in right now. It seemed to me like he wanted to stay out of it. He didn't really want to keep talking about it. He wanted to stay focused on basketball. And it just seemed like he's focused on a lot of other things right now besides making the perfect comment on a situation that he's not really, too informed about. It seems like he really wants to focus on basketball, and people are upset that he wants to stay neutral and didn't make, a strong comment against China. I can see why people are upset here, but I think people are making, in my opinion, maybe a little bit of a bigger deal than really
you got to think about it, though.
We all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke.
But it's because LeBron James is known to be outspoken, brother. When you put yourself on that pedestal, you have to be prepared at all times when you're faced with these type of situations, because guess what, brother? You put yourself in that predicament. You came out and say you wanted to be a Malcolm X of the basketball of America in sports. So now, when you're faced with a situation, brother, it's not my name is better and I'm not in it. Brother, you're going to lose fans. You're going to lose support. But Enes Kanter brought up that he hasn't talked to his family in 5 years. They jailed his dad in his country, revoked his passport. And it's important to know the brother's from Turkey, by the way, right? They revoked his passport. He received death threats. There are international players, ladies and gentlemen, who play in the U.S. LeBron James did not take that into consideration. It's not only America. You're not only defending America. You're not only standing up. The only thing LeBron James is standing up for is American athletes. He said, my players were in China. Can you wait? My players, right? He's talking about his players, right? My players, the American players. He did not take into consideration international players who are currently playing in China, who are from these outside countries where democracy is not at the forefront, where there's a lot of dictatorship. He didn't think about that. He didn't think about his international family look at his team. He got international players on his team. So he didn't take that into consideration, brother. You looked out for one, you didn't look out for others. And that's the same thing you basically say when you speak out against Trump. He's looking out for one side of the party. He's not looking out for others. But in this case, LeBron James, you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, yes, it's one thing to look out for one people. It's one thing to look out for a certain demographic. You know what I'm saying? And you may be looked at as a hero on that side. But it's one thing to change the world. And what I thought from his comments did not help to change the world. He threw Daryl Morey, the general manager, under the bus. That's one thing. Adam Silver did not do that. Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the league, say, look, I'm not going to fire this brother, because the Chinese government reached out. There's a report today that they reached out for Adam Silver to fire Daryl Morey, and he said, I'm not doing it. So Adam Silver standing with his players and his commissioner. And that's what LeBron James, being the face, because there's no doubt about it, LeBron James is the face of the NBA. It should have been his job to stand with the commissioner and with Daryl Morey. And with his comments was very selfish. And you can defend LeBron James all you want, ladies and gentlemen. You can defend him all you want. And I know his track history, and I'm not calling him a sellout. The only thing I'm saying is that this move right here is a sellout move.
So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do, even though, yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
Peace.